Well, all right. Welcome to Walt's World on a marvelous Monday. And got my man, the All-American Walter Luckett in the building. Man, it's been a couple of days of crazy basketball in the NBA, brother.
Yes, I concur, and I really think it's getting really exciting at this point in time. The stars are stepping up, and new stars are coming into face.
Yeah, so let's start off because we haven't hold on a second here. Wait, hold up. Here we go. Okay, so let's start off with the Jazz and the Clippers. Uh, we missed that game, right? So uh the Clippers won 131 to 119. Did we go through that game before?
Yes, we did.
Oh, we did. All right. So it was the
So pretty
Nets.
much it's Atlanta. It's Atlanta.
Oh, so we already did the Nets also in the Bucks. Okay. So we're talking about the Hawks and 76ers. We already talked about the Clippers and the Suns, right?
That's correct. Right.
All
So
right. So
we're talking Atlanta
and the
and
Hawks.
Philly.
All right. So man, so that 103-96, we both called the fact that the Hawks were going to give Philadelphia some problems. What was your take on the game?
Well, right now, after hearing this morning and some of the reviews that came out, they're questioning two folks, Simmons and Doc Rivers. So I think it's very controversial because Philadelphia is not lighting up at all. They won. First of all, they said Simmons, really, they took him out in the fourth quarter. I mean, he played great defense, but that was it. I mean, he could not score, didn't even look at the basket, dribbled past the basket, didn't even think about scoring. Also, they thought Doc Rivers kept him in there too long, and also some defensive changes that were needed that didn't happen.
So you had Tobias Harris, he scored 24, and B scored his usual 31, 11 rebounds.
A lot of one-on-one play, though, Juan. A lot of one-on-one. There was no cohesiveness. I mean, there was kind of dribbling around the court, trying to find a shot. No help on offense. No two-man defense. No two-man offense. It was just a erratic kind of an offense, and that's why they lost the game. There was no team play.
And I mean, Tyrese Maxey only played for 14 minutes. He's got 2 points, but he's a star in the making. He didn't get enough of a shot. You got George Hill with 21 minutes, scored 3 points. Seth Curry, he calmed down a little bit. He got 16, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. But all in all, I mean, it's about team play, and this team just did not deliver.
And what about Dwight Howard? I mean, come on. I mean, you got to use the guy. I mean, he's a phenomenal defensive player. And and again, I say he and Embiid. I don't know if there's any chemistry there, but Dwight, when he gets in there, he plays good defense. I mean, his offense is a little suspect, but give him a try, throw it down low and see what he does. I mean, I didn't understand it, but he made Embiid. He just basically played too much one-on-one basketball for me, and also. He plays like a guard. He dribbles coast to coast. There's nobody down to rebound. I mean, there's no second shots. So I don't know. Doc got to do some thinking.
Yeah, they got some thinking to do. So, I mean, in the fourth quarter, Atlanta beat him 27-25. Third quarter, 28-25. Second quarter, 23-18. And in the first quarter, Philadelphia won that quarter, 28-25. After that, they didn't win any quarters.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. And then also, too, you got to understand, foul shooting was a problem for Philly. I mean, when you're afraid to go to the basket, how you gonna draw some fouls anyway? And then when you get to the foul line, you make 50%. You can't win ball games like that. I also think, Juan, when you really think about it, you got to give Atlanta credit for their defense.
Yes,
you got to give them credit for their defense, and we don't give them enough credit. Capella, hey. He's a star in the makings. I mean, I actually personally, I know Embiid made a lot of points, but he was my center for the week. He did some great defensive play, and also his offense was pretty spectacular. And Young threw the ball up, and he had some nice alley-oop dunks. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as from team play, from defense to offensive team play, I give it to Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, let me say this. I mean, pretty balanced, okay? I mean, Trae Young only scored 21 points, but he got 10 assists, okay? Herter came through with 27 points, man.
Big time.
7 rebounds, which was big, and 3 assists. John Collins, who's my man, played 41 minutes,
Yeah.
only 14 points, but still, in double figures. Gallinari hit some really important shots there in the fourth quarter, man.
Yeah.
I don't like Gallinari because he just like sometimes shoots when he shouldn't be shooting. You know what I'm saying?
Unpredictable.
Yeah, that might hurt him. And in Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's got to raise up his game into this next round. That's for sure.
Well, I think it's a speed's a factor. The guys that he's playing against are a lot faster, a lot stronger, got quicker bounce to the basket, but he can still be a contributor to the team.
So what do you think about Atlanta, Milwaukee now?
Well, that's going to be a tough one. You got to think about the middle. I mean, if they play good defense, I have to go with Atlanta in some respects. Atlanta can play good defense. If they block that middle and stop the Greek Freak from penetrating, and Middleton, because Middleton and the Greek Freak, they seem like the whole offense there. When you really think about it, it's just the way they play.
And they don't
doable.
have
I think they're doable.
And they don't have a center.
Not a center.
They don't have
Let's not forget Atlanta. Everybody had them out from the beginning. You and I didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they're playing in the finals to the Eastern Conference. So
well, that's after they beat my Knicks, man. I knew there was the truth after that. You know what I mean? But this kid, listen, sometimes something happens in a game and you watch a kid like him play, Trey. He made a pass with his left hand that was like a bullet.
Mm.
And it went right there, on the inside. And no one else would have been able to get that pass in. And he threw that pass like a bullet. And right there, that told me something about this kid's game. You know what I mean? I know about the scoring and everything else, right? But if you're a guard, what's your primary reason? You're supposed to be passing the ball.
No question.
Especially a point guard, right? And everybody talks about his offense, right? But the kid can pass.
Bottom line, and also, Juan, think about the point of fact that nobody gives him credit for his intelligence on the court. When you talk about a lot of players, he's pretty bright out there. He makes great decisions.
Yes.
And nobody gives him credit for it.
Yes.
They say, oh, yeah, he can drive to the basket. He can alley-oop the shots. They never give these young guys credit for their intellect on the court. Well, he's only 22 years old, and he's masterful out there.
Yes, and it's interesting because this kid led the nation in scoring. You know that, right?
Absolutely.
So he's a scoring machine, man, and he came right into the NBA and did the same thing. Now the Clippers and the Suns are playing tomorrow at 9:00. Phoenix beat the Clippers. And what do you think about this series?
There's a new star born. His name is Devion Booker. Boy, if I haven't seen Kobe Bryant reincarnated, I don't know who is. What an outstanding basketball player. Humble, team play, gave all the credit to CP3 and his mentorship. Really takes away all the interest in him and compliments his teammates. That's what makes him special, because anybody out there with the eye test can say, this young man can play basketball. I love it the way he plays on the court. I love his demeanor off the court. And I like the class that he's really putting into the NBA. It's a new class of player. He's young, and I really like what I see.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's coming down to the wire here, and it's probably time for us to now, based on what we see out here, right? Who's in the finals and who you picking to win?
Well, that's going to be a tough one. Right now, if I had to pick a team, I'm going with Atlanta, the unsung heroes.
Yes.
Excellent defensive player, a great coach, a great defensive coach, great young players who are not out of shape. Because when you think about it, look at Philly, they were out of shape. They could not run.
No question.
They were exhausted. Them guys are going down the bench looking for air. I don't know. I like Atlanta.
Big ups to Charles Campbell. He chimed in. He's saying hello to me and the All-American Walter Luckett. He says young is the truth. Yeah, man, we agree. We agree, Charles. We definitely agree. I don't think there's been a player that has come into the league. I mean, Booker is good. I mean, there's no question about that, right? But this kid Trey, I think, has come into the league and really he wins. He's a winner. That's what it is. He's leading this team. I mean, because before CP3 got hurt, Booker wasn't leading the team. He's getting an opportunity now to see what he could do. But Trey has already proven that.
It's a very good point, Juan, because when CP3 comes back, he has to go back to his shooting guard role, which I could stifle him down the road. Depends how many more years CP3 is going to play. I think in order for him to grow, complete growth for Booker, he has to have the ball in his hand more than normally when CP3 is out there. But right. I will say this. I think he'll be a greater superstar when the time comes because he has all the makings of a superstar guard. Kobe Bryant persona. I mean, just the way. Do you see how he goes to the basket?
It's amazing. And I mean,
left hand, right hand shots.
And he gets right in and shoots that 10-footer, which we've been talking about.
And he relies on the 10-foot. He doesn't rely on the threes.
Look, I think that things are changing, and I think there's going to be a more balanced game from now on. I think that teams are not going to rely on the three like they did because they're trying to be like Golden State, right?
Exactly.
I think you can shoot the three, right? But you also need those 10-footers. I mean, look at this. These kids are coming in. And, I mean, they just stop it at the 10 feet joint, man, and, lobbing it up for a dunk or just lobbing it into the basket.
And one option that Booker has that people forget, the first pick in the draft a few years ago, Aiden. I mean, he is really coming into his own.
Well, I think, look, man, I think that despite the fact that, they're talking about the Joker and we was talking about, and B, we were talking about all of that. The young boys are left.
Well, they're watching the game right now. They're turning on at the same time we do. So, I always believe young legs really prevail. I mean, young legs really prevail and speed. But you know what? I got to go back to what I'm saying. The guards today are a lot smarter today. Yeah. It must be the training they've gotten prior to coming into the NBA. Some of them get it with some of the AAU play, or I don't know what it is, but they are a lot smarter on the court. They make better decisions and less turnovers.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now, that's what cost Philly turnovers. Yeah. I mean, Embiid must have turned over about 7 or 8 times himself.
Well, I mean, look, I think that. And I like it, right? I mean, because, a guard is supposed to be 6'3", 6'5". These big guards came into the league. In Magic, that's everybody wanted a Magic Johnson. So they started everybody started looking for a Magic Johnson, right? I mean, this poor kid, Ben Simmons, he's 6'10". Back in the day, he wouldn't be touching the ball out in the front, man.
The Greek freak. He would have been too.
Yeah. He would have been getting taught how to be a good forward, stay in there, stay in your lane,
or be on the bench, or be
on the bench. And he would have came up with a nice corner jump shot, a banker, and go in there and get rebounds. Because look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Philly would have been a better team this year if he was playing forward, and that some of the other guards who are real guards take the ball.
And there's no question about it, Juan. And when you talk about big guys bringing the ball up the court, who's getting the second shots? Who's doing the rebounding? It's a really complicated game today because a lot of these big guys who are playing the point, they're actually playing the point, bringing the ball up the court. So their intentions normally are not to pass the ball. They're the bigs. They're the ones that take the shots. They're the ones supposed to get the ball down low. So they take it upon themselves to go down low and take the shots. And a lot of them turn the ball over. And that's what the problem is.
Yeah. Well, because they're so big that when they dribble, they're dribbling high, right? I mean, that's the reason why, every time that Paul George starts dribbling the ball, I get nervous. I get nervous. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I get nervous when Kevin Durant is dribbling the ball.
And when
And
the
he
big
does
guys are
throw it away.
dribbling, when the big, excuse me, sir, when the big guys are dribbling, you're not expecting them to pass you the ball, so you're out of position.
Right.
That's the problem. When you start with the point guards or real guards, then you know you're going to start an offense, a complete offense. But when the big guy got the ball, who's the next option? Nobody knows. Everybody's standing still. There's no movement, and therefore it's easy to defend.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm liking the direction that the league is going because you know what, a better all around game is good for the league. And then also, you got kids that are watching the NBA, and they're learning, right? So they watching these guys, and it's a good thing for them to see that passing the ball around the horn, taking 3-pointers, taking 10-footers, all is good for the game, but you have to be balanced with it.
Correct.
You can't live and die by the 3. They've come and they gone this preseason.
And also, Juan, to expound on what you're saying, sir, is the fact that confidence. I mean, here you got a guy who was the first or second pick in the NBA draft, afraid to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is that, number one, for the last 4 or 5 years, they're saying improve your jump shot.
Right.
Well, you got to work hard at that.
Yeah.
The more you shoot, the better you get. Obviously, there's some question there, and then to couple with it, a lot of focus this year has been on coaching.
True.
Coaching is a real problem. Lately, they've been getting over to Steve Nash has made some bad decisions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Doc Rivers. I mean, like they're looking at coaches just like they're looking at players. Juan.
Yeah. They have to, man. They have to because look, man. By the end of the day, we've been watching. Well, let me say this. I don't get it, right? Because during the season, they resting all these stars, right? Everybody's getting a run. They're going up to 10 deep, right? And then the playoffs comes, and them guys get no run.
I know.
None.
And then when you put them in there, you expect them to act like they've been playing all season.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, listen, man, it's a great playoffs. We picked in Atlanta, and that's it.
One last comment, Juan, before we close out.
Yeah.
Stephen A said the biggest problem that the Nets had, who were the favorite to win the whole thing, was karma. He called it karma.
Karma. You tried to buy a championship.
And also, the guys were inconsistent with their schedules, like playing 2 weeks, taking off time, and then all of a sudden you're injured because you haven't played throughout the whole season. It was a very interesting segment with Magic Johnson, but he was saying if those guys had played the regular season like most guys, they could have easily won the championship. But because they did not, stay up with their schedule and they did not play a full season, that was the reason why the injuries occurred, and that's why they ran into problems. And also, they were saying Kevin Durant was exhausted. He played phenomenal, but nobody else could do anything.
Nah, that last shot he took, that was just tiredness.
That shouldn't happen in the NBA, Juan.
No. And also 3 dunks they missed. They missed 3 dunks that would have won the game.
You're right about that.
In that game, But all right, my brother.
Okay.
NBA is on the way, man. We cutting them down.
We're down to close to Final Four, brother. It's going to get good.
There you go. Walt Luck is the All-American, man. Check us out tomorrow, man. Tomorrow, because there's no games tomorrow night, right?
That's correct.
All right, so Wednesday. Yeah, so Wednesday we'll be talking to everybody. All right, keep it right here, man. Check us out on all social media. We're on all the platforms, so make sure you check us out. Juan Castillo, Walt's World in full effect.